Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5b, that I will never leave you, I will never forsake you. Brethren, welcome to our sharing this morning, which is stepping out of the boat. Let us enjoy our time together. Our scripture this morning is Matthew 14, 28 to 29, which says, Peter said to him, Lord, if it's you, order me to come to you on the water. So he said, come. Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. To do extraordinary things, you need to step out of the boat. What had happened earlier? They had had a very successful ministry, feeding 5,000 men, leave alone the children and the women. Now, Jesus Christ told the disciples to row across, and he stayed behind to send away the people and also to have a time with his Father talking to him. Now, the disciples are on the lake, alone in the boat, and buffeted by many storms. Storms? Yeah, but we need to know that most of them were fishermen, so storms was a common occurrence. They even knew how to handle the storms. But at that time, Jesus Christ comes walking on the water, and everybody is scared. Peter, having asked the Lord that if it's you, tell me to come, and the Lord said, come, he does something extraordinary. What does he do? He steps out of the water and walks towards Jesus Christ. If I'm going to do something extraordinary, I need to step out of the boat. Let us visualize and conceptualize the guys that stayed in the boat. Let's start with Thomas. Could be he said, I doubt whether this guy is going to make it up to the Lord. But even then, are we sure that's the Lord? Let's look at Judas Iscariot. He could have said, this Peter should have left his clothes here, including the money he has for us, the survivors. What about Matthew, who was once a tax collector? He could have said, has Peter counted the cost of stepping out of this boat? But despite all those, Peter did something extraordinary and walked on the water towards Jesus Christ. I want to tell us something, that if I'm going to achieve more than ordinary, I need to step out of my comfort zone, stepping out of my boat. Who else in the Bible stepped out of their boat? Let's start with Abraham, who was Abraham in Genesis chapter 12. What happened? He was comfortable in his family, with a beautiful wife, with loving companions, with a very caring clan and tribe. But when he had God, he stepped out of that comfort zone. And what happened? Not only was he blessed, he became a blessing to many, including us. Next, let's just look at Joshua. Joshua was a very experienced army commander. But what did God tell him about Jericho? He said, just walk around, just walk around. Joshua stepped out of his experience, he stepped out of his knowledge, and did something weird. He circled Jericho walls, just walking as a military strategy. What happened? The walls came down quietly. Let's just look at another one. Nehemiah. Nehemiah was comfortable, well placed in the kingdom, and he was receiving a very good salary, serving the king. But when he heard about the calamity happening in Jerusalem, he stepped out of that comfort zone, went to Jerusalem, started building the walls of Jerusalem, even amidst opposition, and he did it in a record time. He stepped out. Another person we want to look at is Esther. She was a queen, in luxury, elegant, but her people were facing calamity. She stepped out of her comfort. even fasted for 3 days and risked her life to go and meet the king before being called. Guess what? Her people were spared. I'll talk about Rahab. The Bible in Joshua chapter 2 verse 1 tells us Rahab was a harlot. But this harlot also stepped out of her comfort, out of the confidence of her people, and hid the Hebrew spies in her house. And as a result, her life and the life of her people was spared. I will tell you about Zacchaeus, this guy in the New Testament. What happened to him? He really wanted to see Jesus Christ. We meet this in Luke chapter 19, verse 1 to 10. What did he do? This rich guy, very noble, dignified, he climbed the sycamore tree. He climbed before the tree in order to see Jesus Christ. He stepped out of his dignity. What did he achieve? Jesus said, salvation has come to this house. We shall talk about Jesus himself. Philippians chapter 2 tells us that he left all glory and came down here to a sin-stained world for restitution. And as a result, I am a child of God, you are a child of God, and he's lifted high. Brethren, I want to ask us, what are some of those hindrances that prevent us from stepping out of our comfort zone? Our God. Number one, settlement. Settling in what I know. Settling in what I'm used to do. And I say, it is okay. It can do. Let us just stay. Do things that we have always been doing with them. Another one is self-pity. This is why you say, let those who have energy do it. Those who have the money, let them do it. Those who are very lower land, they will do it. For us, we are just local. We are just women. We are just youth. We are just. And you stay in the boat. You do not achieve extraordinary. Short-sightedness is another one. Lack of vision. You don't see far. And the other is storms and challenges. But Peter looked beyond the storms. Even Abraham looked above and beyond the things that he didn't know. Challenges and storms be hindrances. I want us to look at causatives for stepping out. In other words, what can help me step out of my boat? Number one, hearing God. Peter heard Jesus say, come, then he went. Even Joshua heard God say, walk around the walls of Jericho. Hearing God is key to stepping out of our boat. And remember, we hear God through his word. We hear God through the people around us, through circumstances. Hearing God is very important. What else? If I'm going to step out of the boat, I must have a compelling, consuming vision. I have something I must achieve. It will drive me to step out of my boat, my comfort zone. Nehemiah had a consuming vision to make sure that the walls of Jerusalem are rebuilt and the glory of Jerusalem is back. Consuming vision. Another one is passion for God. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus Christ by hook or crook, and he did the extraordinary to see Jesus Christ. And the other one, compassion for people. When you love people so much, you can even give your life for the people. That's what Esther did. And the last one is being tired of the status quo. I cannot stay like this. Nehemiah said, can't you see that what we are in, the walls of Jerusalem are crushed, they are destroyed, they are desolate. He was tired of the status quo. And having had that, then you have proper planning, you have elaborate plans and objectives, and you achieve the extraordinary. Today, we have so many ordinary Christians, ordinary husbands, ordinary wives, ordinary students. We have ordinary leaders who sit just here, comfortable in their situations. even us, we may be covered with our situations. For instance, one of these days, our churches will be open. Don't get surprised that we are going to go back to business as usual, praise and worship as usual, choir as usual, intercession as usual, because that's what we are used to. Let us get out of that and do something extraordinary. Get out of that.